What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 16 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Iber Rune Smasher was attacked at the Golden Tower yet again by the forces of Tzeentch, and he threw them back yet again. Tzeentch, seeing his devotee work so hard, decided to reward him by elevating him to Demon Princehood, which is pretty nice, and it was just so appropriate to receive it after all of those enemy forces held back with basically nothing. Just a garbage garrison and a garbage little army. I'm proud of you, Iber. You will make a nice new army, and you will have our knights and our chosen primarily. You're going to be that army because you have Grimsbane, and I think it's a pretty good option for that. Extra campaign movement range out of the skies, and then the Ascendant Adept of Shaman, which is kind of ridiculous, but also I'm not sure about it, in the sense that you gotta notice that it takes away the two arguably best spells in both lores, both the Tzeentch lore and the lore of Metal. We no longer have Searing Doom, and we no longer have Pink Fires of Tzeentch. Now granted, we'll simply put a Sorcerer in this army to get to those for you, a Sorcerer of Tzeentch, but it is interesting, and honestly, if this was at 10% instead of -10, I would say it's not worth it. And because while Gehenna's Golden Hounds and Treason and Plague of Rust are all fine, I would trade literally all three spells for Pink Fire or Searing Doom. So yeah. And then here we have Infernal Gateway. We don't have Final Transmutation or Firestorm of Tzeentch. That's fine. I mean, Infernal Gateway is pretty good. But especially because of the armor piercing, so it'll get better and better into the late game, as it's more valuable against weaker spells with less armor piercing. But yeah, and this lore is kind of interesting. Anyway, while we're here, we may as well give you some level ups. Hearts of Iron, you know what, let's get Root Marcher, Dominating Presence. In terms of this, I actually don't particularly care for most of these spells, that's the funny thing, but you need to have access to at least a higher level of blue fire, so let's get you that and Fires of Change. And, well, free Gehenna's Golden Hounds and free Plague of Rust is still decent. So we might as well get those. Alright, there. And I guess 1 point in Plague of Rust, and then the free Transmutation of Lead. See, now, if we had a free Final Transmutation, that would be a different story, but I guess maybe this is on purpose. I'm not entirely sure. Just judging by the particular spells that they gave us here. Anyway, Iber, let's begin by moving you out. You can't catch Pradot here. What you can, however, do is move right to the edge of our territory right there. And then Fire, you are going to go right there. Yeah. And this is an Iridescent Horror of Metal, which we do potentially want to trade to you. Alternatively, now I'm just thinking, do we want to give the Iridescent Horror of Metal to Kairos? What do you have, by the way? You have Tough, which would be good on a Burning Chariot. Kairos, do you need Searing Doom? The thing is, the type of army that Kairos has will probably not need Searing Doom. In fact, what we might want to do is give Kairos an Iridescent Horror of Tzeentch instead. Also, if you could just take these troops like so. -3. There you go. And then, can you recruit anything useful here? Oh, you don't have access to global. That's fine. And then we'll want to, as you guys reminded me, make use of Unholy Manifestations. And I do thank you for the reminder, because I do forget that these exist occasionally. Right there, especially because I don't particularly like mutagenic energies. And Magic Flare, okay, Magic Flare looks pretty okay. That's a pretty darn significant buff for 3 turns. And then Night of Madness looks kind of garbage, and I don't really see the use for it. I mean, yeah, Winds of Magic Power Reserve plus 25 per turn is nice, but it's not like we're having any trouble with Winds of Magic Power Reserve. But anyway, Scriveners of Insanity for a few extra grimoires right there. Alrighty, beautiful. And then you can stay here, because if they attack you, well, let's just say they will die trying. We can also delete these blue horrors? Huh. I mean, what if this guy does try to attack us? You can't reach us. Would he attack us by himself, though? Even with the blue horrors? I doubt it. Well, let's just level up Fire just in case, though. You are going to be a recruiter, though at this point, you have a lot of nice buffs. which is kind of odd and was not the original intent for you. Especially Sora Smiter, I'm disinclined to lose out on that. And that said, we can go through Draftmaster and get you called to change early. Just to reduce the upkeep on you. It's not like you have a yellow line for you to get buffs fire. So yeah, maybe that's the way we do it. Draftmaster, and let's get called by change. At the end of the day, I suppose we could ascend you as well if we really wanted to. As in, allow you to become an Exalted Lord of Change. I'll think about it. You, Iber, let's also give Adriazel a few points. Training is not necessary in your army. Let's get it the Glittering Robe, because it's a good spell. I mean, we could get a second Gehenna's Golden Hounds as well, in theory. But it's the Glittering Robe I want, and oh, you're also missing Glittering Robe, aren't you? So really, you're missing all the best spells in this allure, aren't you? Which is exactly what's making me think that the -10 magic cost is on purpose. If you weren't missing the best Lore of Tzeentch spell, I would be really more on top of this. But anyway, let's do that. You, Kairos, you can actually move to Orion's camp, and I guess we'll be doing that this turn. But let's give you the Fragment of Akshi, because this is kind of universally useful. Presuming, yeah, you know, you cast more than anybody. We'll get you that. I'm kind of inclined to get you many colored fires because we will be putting a decent number of flamers in your army. That said, if we do so, we will have 7 points remaining to spend. 1 in Incendiary Ascent. And then we'll have 6 points to spend. Potentially in Ghur, Azir, and Shaman. Ulgu and Hish are garbage and not worth taking. Especially not at 2 points. Yeah. Alternatively, we could spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could spend most of the points in getting called by change, but you know, in Kairos' one army, it's not super necessary. Yeah, you know, either way, I think we'll get many colored fires for you. I mean, I suppose we could also get Fragment of Azir right now, it's just that we don't really get anything out of it. We do get something out of Fragment of Ghur. And something out of Fragment of Shaman. Also, what do we get out of the Arsenal of Insanity? Yeah, not that great. You know what, let's go for Ghur now. And I hope I didn't miscalculate what we needed. Let's do that and we'll hold on to that last point. Okay, there's the Fragment of Akshi and Ghur. And then we're going to give you back Gairan. And there we go. And we're never going to replace Gairan. Shield of Thorns and the... and Life Bloom are too good. Well, rather, Life Bloom and Regrowth are too good. Shield of Thorns has its uses. Alrighty. And yeah, you could use an Iridescent Horror, I think, rather than a Sorcerer. Actually, speaking of, I think last episode there was an Iridescent Horror that we wanted to hire. Torser Pindar. You, Terratus, Keymaster. Get that extra barrier replenishment. Why not? And then you move up, and you can join Kairos' army. Mostly to allow the Locus of Change, but also to give Kairos the ability to use Tzeentch's Firestorm, essentially, especially if you can follow him around on that Burning Chariot, and add additional Flamers to his Flamer-focused army. Okie dokie, I'm happy with that. Garrulus, you need to start moving towards the dwarfs out here. They better not kill little Scarby, our cute little vassal. And, okay, you guys should be dead shortly. In fact, we gotta do a couple more things. First of all, as you guys have said in the comments, we are free to steal territory from our allies here. So what we'll do is Changing of the Ways, Transfer Settlement, begin right now, to ourselves, like so. And then in 7 turns, we'll do another one. Also, what do we got here? Oh, that's pretty good. We got the best stuff here. Perfect. Well done, allies. And then... Confederation's pretty unlikely. Nah, but it's okay, though. They'll just get weaker and weaker as we take all their upgraded provinces. Looks like Demon's Gate is at tier 4. I do wish that we could see it to know if it was being upgraded to tier 5 shortly. I'd love to take a fully upgraded settlement as well. But anyway. Oh, wait, no, that's their capital. We can't even steal it from them, damn. Yeah, too bad. Oh well, we'll have to either confederate or kill them. We'll see. Okie dokie, now we are good to attack Findal. We do have some money to spend, but we can spend it next turn, or actually after we're done here and battling. I did give you back regrowth, yes? Yes. Alright, get to it, Kairos. They have a full stack and a lot of ranged units, but let's face it, Kairos isn't really afraid of them. Obviously, we're going to be fighting this cinematically. Seems like a fun fight. Let's get to it. Alrighty, here we go. The Bowmen of Orion stand arrayed before us in pretty massive numbers. We really gotta make sure that we enjoy this particular battle, as, let's face it, we will not be fighting the Wood Elves a lot, likely, throughout this campaign. And especially as we gotta go pretty darn far north to encounter some more. Obviously, Kairos is going to open the battle up by moving in and starting the spell spam, as he likes to do. Gonna start taking damage from quite a few arrows, and they've already brought his 2,000 nearly point barrier down to half. I really wish that Kairos had that has that village trait that makes his barrier just impossible to break, but all good. Our army is going to essentially advance all together in a massive blob as we go closer, after Kairos softens the enemy up a little bit, and then we're obviously going to have our various knights and our flyers waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Looks like Kairos is going to start taking a little bit of damage. There are a lot of enemy archers on us after all, and well, it is threatening to some degree, but of course we have to remember that we do have the ability to just regrow Kairos and get him back up to full. Also really lovely to fight in these wooded areas, isn't it? I bet Kairos, or not Kairos, Tzeentch and Nurgle would probably fight over a magical forest like this. Both would really love to corrupt it. Alrighty, and here comes our main army advancing, and before them opening up a Gate of Tzeentch to get some of those pink horrors on the field. I really do find these gate spells extremely valuable just for the ability to summon units that we can use essentially as fodder to run into the enemy. Alrighty, looks like we got an Infernal Gateway coming down, as well as a Tzeentch and Doom Bolt. I always forget the name of the damn spell. I feel like I forget the name of that spell every single episode. The Bound Army ability, I mean. And it looks like the Infernal Gateway did quite a number on the enemy. Glade Guard and Eternal Guard got a little bit hurt as they moved towards the barricade. The barricade itself surprisingly didn't get eaten up by that vortex. I do feel like maybe the spells should do increased damage to these things, but all good, especially considering how quickly you can bring these down with sustained ranged fire. Speaking of sustained ranged fire, our pink horrors just got in range and they're about to rip the enemy apart. And there we go, that poor unit of Glade Guard with Hagbane tips got deleted instantly, and then there will be more enemies to fire on as well. In fact, it looks like even the Eternal Guard are going to back up a little bit. All the while, of course, Kairos is flying overhead and casting spell after spell after spell. I'm actually using the non-overcast version of the pink fires here just to spam it a little bit more, and to keep Kairos just repeatedly casting and activating his abilities. And damn, when pink horrors can actually fire on something, as in when they are in range, they hurt quite a lot. Those units only take about a volley to bring down. And there's another pink fire coming down as well. We're also, however, keeping our cultist back. Lucar got a little bit damaged when he started to move with the army as the enemy tried to focus him down, unsurprisingly. So we do have to be careful about him just getting insta-killed by a massive amount of enemy archers. Wouldn't be the first time that he took a lot of damage. Also, our Flamers moved in and starting to dish out enemy damage to the enemy, and that's another unit that basically got instantly deleted, while our Chosen, or rather our Chaos Warriors and our Aspiring Champions, break through those barriers and head into these magical woods. Oh yeah, that Exalted Flamer doing real good. Can't wait to get another one on the field. And a couple of regular Flamers, not the Exalted kind, just for fun. for fun and variety's sake. Alrighty, more enemy units moving in, but the aspiring champions are gonna head them off, and I don't imagine the War Dancers or the Eternal Guard have too much of a chance against Chosen or aspiring champions, or rather Chaos Warriors. We don't have access to Chosen yet. Over on this side, however, we're also moving in our Chaos Knights, as well as our Doom Knights and our Furies, getting ready to attack those units that are here, but are relatively isolated, and some of our Pink Horrors have actually split off to go up this way, rather than go up the main direction where most of the enemy army is. Gonna drop yet another spell down, another one of these Doom Bolts in the middle of the enemy. I do always wonder how effective that spell is, as in, is it ever worth casting it, as opposed to just repeatedly casting the higher damaging one, the bombardment one, plus obviously the additional mana from the arcane something, the recharge spell. I really can't remember the names of any of the bound abilities every single battle. Nah, not to worry. It'll take time, but I'll learn them eventually. Anyway, Kairos still flying overhead, but now we have opened another gate of Tzeentch and summoned a Lord of Change on the field. A little bit of a preview, as Kairos is likely to have 2, maybe 4 Lords of Change in the final version of his army. Not that he needs them, mind you, but he does buff them fairly considerably and increases spell mastery based on the number you have in your army. But for now, this Lord of Change is a good summon, as it takes a fair while to kill it, and, well, okay, it drops as soon as I said that, but we used it primarily to essentially blob the enemy up so that we could hit them. On top of that, it died because it got unsummoned, not because it got killed. So yeah, not quite the same thing. Anyway, over on this side, our Furies, our Doom Knights, our Brokari men have all arrived to kill those isolated enemy units. Looks like our Chaos Knights are about to catch out some War Dancers over on this side as well. And there we go. While the Doom Knights distract them, of course, our Furies and our Doom Knights or while our Chaos Knights rather distract them, our Furies and our Doom Knights are going to fly overhead and drop down upon them. They're reasonably fragile after all. In addition to that, we're going to get some spell work going down here. Just for fun, I decided to try a Flamestorm on the enemy. Unfortunately, though, rather than staying near the enemy where they're completely blobbed up, the Flamestorm decides to move completely away from them. I have terrible luck with the vortexes that are not the stationary kind, so generally speaking, I try to avoid them. Also, this looks really nice with all the particles spinning. It looks like leaves getting burnt up in this forested area. I wish I had an excuse to use this thing more, but it's only basically useful when you have a massive blob of enemy units. And there we go, and now it's heading down there. Well, that's unfortunate, but fortunately we do still have the ability to use our own Tzeentch bombardment, and this one is hitting lots and lots of enemies, unlike this thing. This thing is actually heading towards us, which is kind of frightening. Ooh, nice hit from our Flamer of Tzeentch, applying even much more, I should say, fire to the enemy than this thing. Oh, and this thing's going right through our own units. Oh, damn you, Flame Column, or Flame Storm. That ain't very nice. Yeah, it took down the shields of all of our Chaos Warriors basically instantly and damaged them a little bit. But that's okay, because the enemy army is pretty badly beat up at this point, having lost more than half of those Wood Elves, and 1,500 Wood Elves or so is a fairly high number, because while their model counts aren't as high as something as Orcs or Skaven or anything like that, so yeah, working out quite well. Also, the Doom Knights appear to be, or rather the Chaos Knights and the Doom Knights, appear to be ripping these War Dancers apart without too much trouble, and our Furies that are flying overhead are chasing off any enemy units that decide to rout, so that they don't come back. Kairos still flying overhead and is now back to full HP, having used a regrowth on himself, having dropped it to about half after taking damage from the enemy. We've also got some of our Chaos Warriors hurt, but their model count is not that low, so we can regrow them without much difficulty, or at least in theory. Also, as we can see, the Lucar's gotten a little bit beat up here. Oh, and there's another Infernal Gateway coming down. Lucar's gotten a little bit beat up himself at about half HP, having not only been focused down by the enemy, but also repeatedly using that Forbidden Rod, which hurts you in exchange for magic. It does feel very Tzeentchian for an item, though. Fortunately, once again, we can get the regrowth going on him, and we should be able to heal him to full. There we go, that Infernal Gateway hit real hard, and it looks like, in fact, that Infernal Gateway seems to have broken the enemy army for good. Yeah, definitely took care of most of these wood elves with the with spell work, rather than with just rather than with the army attacking. Although Galrock Simulator actually ran out of ammunition for once and decided to go into melee. In fact, let's see. He did 300 kills and nearly 20k damage. That looks pretty good to me. And I believe we're now free to speed up the rest of this and just get that regrowth going on Lucar to get him back up to full health, because who knows how quickly we'll be able to heal here. After all, we've seen before that Kairos' army heals relatively not quickly. Slowly is the word I'm looking for. There we go, and that's a wooded area hours and not too much damage, I believe. Since there wasn't a lot of model loss, even the Chaos Warriors will probably heal to very close to full after the battle. Alrighty, there we go. The battle wasn't too difficult, and I gotta say, I'm about 90% sure we took more damage from ourselves than we took from the enemy there. Also, that was a good showcase of why the regrowth spell being bound to Kairos is just so damn important. The cultist is obviously going to continue being targeted throughout the campaign by the enemy range units, and being able to bring it back from like 25% HP to full or something along those lines with a single cast is really quite useful. And of course the same thing goes for things like the Exalted Flamers and yada yada yada, and Kairos himself, so you gotta love that regrowth. Otherwise, damn that Flame Storm. I'm probably not going to be using that again unless we're really, really far. And of course it moved all the way down to us. I don't even... Game. We're gonna occupy the place. Province, Heart of the Jungle is ours, and the Bowmen of Orion are destroyed. We are going to keep this dimensional breach, and in fact, I think we want to build the Warpstone Locus here, and just Tzeentchify all surrounding territories before we're even there, especially since we cannot build any defensive structures here. In addition to that, we may as well get, so let me just think here. I guess growth would probably be the best thing. Also, while we're here, let's check our Winds of Magic, not Changing of the Ways, those are different. Let's go Demonium Hills and Abyssal Glacier. And let's go 1, 2. Mostly because Kairos is here already. I don't know how many wins he has, but I'm sure. In fact, let's just double check that. He's good. Didn't even need to do that, but whatever. It can't hurt. I'm sure he loves to bathe in the Winds of Magic. Now, we have a very solid amount of cash, but let's briefly check our quick deals. See if there's anything important. Clan Rictus, you're too weak for us to bother with, and no offense. Pirates of Sartosa. Currently fighting Clan Angrand and Disciples of the Maw. Minus 2.6, it's not so bad. And you don't have near the aversion that others do, although, you don't like us treating with Moors. I don't like that. I kind of like Moors right now. Queek is doing pretty okay. Sylvania, you have a massive amount of aversion, because, well, it does make sense. Vlad is all about order. Flaming Scribes, no, we're going to leave you alone until you confederate. We could go military alliance with Moors, but that doesn't really help us in this situation. I feel like we ignore Sartosa for now. We'll see if they come to like us more, but at the end of the day, I'd still rather go with Noctilus. He doesn't take any territory that we may want to have for ourselves, and these guys are still closer. Although, to be fair, the Maelstrom does seem like a location that Tzeentch, or Tzeentchian factions in general, would definitely enjoy. But anyway, let's spend some cash. Jaeger, where were you going? You are a Chaos Sorcerer of Tzeentch. Oh, so you can join Rune Smasher, yes. And we'll need a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal to join Garrulus, because you are a Sorcerer of Tzeentch. And I'm probably going to keep you as one rather than ascending you, because we already have one Ascendant and I want to have different types of lords. Then we'll need one regular Herald of Tzeentch, and we'll need one... Ooh, Iron Skin, though. Okay, I'll have to think about that one. And then we'll need one Exalted Keeper of Secrets, as well as one Herald. Something along those lines. Anyway, what do we have here? Doomglade, let us upgrade you, and we'll upgrade Resetra last because it's the least threatened. We no longer need this building here, though we will need similar buildings in other territories. Okay, Devil's Backbone. Granite Massive or Machrock, let's go for Granite Massive. Let's also upgrade the walls at... Well, we don't really need the walls at Machrock, although if Grimgor, for example, lands here, he could certainly strike at it. You know, I'll hold off on that for now, but I may be building it eventually. Next up, we have you. Ah, yes, more lattices. Lost Plateau and Mount Arachnos. You could get attacked by dwarfs, but we'll hold off. And let's get you these cultist camps. Nice. We'll hold off on the garrisons for now. We'll see. We may be able to expand enough that we just plain don't need them later on. Teotiqua, you are good. You are good. Any more lattices anywhere? If not, we're gonna go to military buildings. Oh, we don't need you anymore. Or you. Or you. Because you're gonna get replaced. Actually, at Sotek's Trail, we can build a military building. Nice. Yeah, that works. That works, because you're going to be good, and in fact, we should double check. Okay, we're good here as well, and we are good here as well. Bunch of tier 5 territories that, well, we can't afford to upgrade yet, but we will eventually. Ooh, more money from you. Altar Facades. Yeah, let's get that military building, and then I think we save the rest of our cash. Yes, we could build more military stuff, and we do need to, but... I feel like I'd want to save up to be able to upgrade at least one territory, for example here, so we could get both Doom's Hold, as well as the Spices, as well as probably the Cult of Change as well here. And that seems pretty ideal to me. Assuming we don't need anything else here, and I don't believe we do. Yeah, and then we'll get Iridescent Conflagration and Inchoate Forge somewhere else. Okay, that works. This is going to cost us 13,600. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive. Oh, actually, that also reminds me. Construction costs for infrastructure, control, and growth. I'm now wondering, are we supposed to switch back to the dimensional cascade after this? Construction cost reduction for military recruitment buildings. Yeah, so I guess we'll be switching back to the... Switching back to these kind of provincial capitals. Recruitment cost reduction, construction cost reduction, less growth, but we don't need to... Ooh, but we instantly lose 5 control in the province if we do so. That said, 5 control would put us back in yellow, but we don't need the growth for the control anymore. And frankly, the 5% recruitment cost is not that huge a buff anyway. So I think we'll be okay. Let's see, we're put +1 control here, assuming we can't research more control, and I'll double check it shortly. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Alright, so we're gonna upgrade you to the Dimensional Cascade instead, especially as, well, I guess we'll do that everywhere then. Everywhere where we're liable to actually build military buildings, and I think that should be pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Might as well start Tzeentchifying everything. The Bastion is for growth, and then the Dimension, and then the Gate is for militarization. Okay, unassigned skill points, building upgrades available, outpost available. Oh, right. Do we want to maybe upgrade this? Yeah, you know what, why not? Mostly to get the extra units defending this place. I really don't want Skarbrand to die now that he's our vassal. Also, I assume Kairos will have leveled up from that. Nah. Got 3 points, so we could get the many-colored fires immediately. And then, presuming that we spent the 46th point on Incendiary Ascent, we'll have 4 points left. So with those 4 points, we will then get the Fragment of Azir and the Fragment of Shaman, the relatively useful ones. And then we'll ignore Fragment of Ulgu and Fragment of Hish because they're the 2 garbage ones. Alright, I think that's a nice balance. It does mean skipping out on... Well, I guess the only thing that I wanted here that we're really skipping out on is either Called by Change or Legion of Madness, and at the end of the day, I think we can do with that. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Also, Lucar the Indecisive. Let's decisively pick Flamestorm. Just because it's the only point left, I regret using that in that battle so much. Not that we won't heal to full anyway, mind you, but still. Also, Commandment here. Tzeentch Corruption in adjacent provinces. Or another eagle. Nah, still contrivance. Still contrivance. For the extra research. We really don't have that much research, and we're getting it all from our territories and not our... Now you can keep that. Not our steel tech ability. Okay, Thorak, where are you gonna go? You gonna fight Scarby again? Alright, Libaras, you are still not dead, really. Okay. I'll die eventually. You can do it, Queek, I believe in you. Also, we're Herd of the One Eye. We gotta try to ally with them and try to gift them a settlement somehow. I'm not sure where. Defensive Alliance. Now, how about instead you... Oh, Confederation is much more likely now. Huh. But we can't ask... We can't join war... what if... Wait. No, you can't trade and... Huh. Nah, I was about to say maybe we could do the vassalization thing, but maybe we'll be able to afford this. Let's just see here. And there's potential. Would he do it for nearly 20k? Hey, we got Changing of the Ways open gates. That's swell. Brain fog, increased research. Ooh. That's not too bad. I did want to get the Locus of Contrivance just to get the slight upkeep reduction for even further money making. The other option is to head towards Persistent Change for that extra control that I was just talking about. The other option, I suppose, is to go to the Way of Fate via Piercing Screams. I don't think anything else is all that useful here. I mean, yes, we want Exalted Locus of Conjuration, but we need a tier 5 settlement for that, so it ain't happening right now. We have Manipulation, and we do want to get the Teleport Winds of Magic cost reduction. Also kind of ASAP. But out of all this, I'm thinking that the most useful is definitely gonna be the Locus of Contrivance, so that's what we're headed towards. Enjoy. Alrighty, now that we have that, let us talk to our little ally here. Join Confederation, 7.5. No balance offer. Oh, interesting. Huh. Is it because we don't have enough money, or is it because... Wait. Payments. Offer payment, just out of curiosity. Wait, are we not able to select a specific amount? What the heck? Wait, I don't want to give you a gift. I wanted to compare it to Join Confederation. Alrighty, well, let's just try not spending any money this turn, then. Maybe next turn. I mean, is it even worth doing this for 3 territories? To give them, like, 40,000 gold? I mean, I suppose if they're highly leveled, it'll be okay. Though that will mean we'll essentially almost immediately need to start fighting with the Ghost of Pahwaks. But I don't see why we wouldn't want to. Alrighty, let's see what we can do about it. Kairos, in the meantime, you're able to hit Antok immediately. Do we attack Volkmar outside it? I have a feeling if we do, he won't join the fray, but you have Grimsbane already, because I remember you chasing him down before, so it doesn't really matter. You know what, let's see if we can dry out the garrison. I'm 99% sure it won't work, but let's give it a try. Oh damn, I didn't want to spend money. Yeah, he's gonna run. Okay, fair enough. We could sack Antok, but if we're gonna hold this territory anyway, there's no need to. Ooh, Pyrrhic Victory. I guess we just auto-resolve this. Let's face it, Kairos can kill this entire settlement all by himself, can't he? It's probably not worth our time. As long as we're not surrounded by like 6 full stacks that are gonna take advantage of this, and it doesn't look like they are. And oh look, Marius is gonna go after fire here. And that's cute. In fact, wait. You could move out here and go into an ambush stance. Now granted, you're full of garbage blue horrors, but it should be enough to kill that guy at least. Yeah, and we'll need to build you up a proper army. In fact, if we were gonna spend money, I'd probably start building an army here at Tor Serpindar. Okay, well, we'll deal with that shortly. Garrulus, you need to keep moving towards the dwarfs, presumably. You can start in a march stance. Thorak's out here, so we're not threatened by it. And we do still need to get you another Chaos Sorcerer in here, or a second Cultist. If we had more, if we had the ability to get more Cultists, I'd get more Cultists. Also, you have a level, so increase that mobility and get that Kindle Flame. Actually, no. Get Cascading Fire, no, get the Flaming Sword of Ruin. I just want a spammable spell. And I hate Fireball, and I hate magic missiles in general, though blue fire from on high isn't too bad. Let's move you, Jaeger. You're gonna join Iber. And we're almost out of time here as well, but I would like to see if this ambush works. So, what we'll do is we will auto-resolve here. A little bit of damage, not a big deal. Occupy the garbage little location. And we can build stuff, but we can also wait a turn. I think we wait a turn to save up as much money as possible. Although that said, the earlier we can get walls, the earlier we can leave this place and not have to worry about it getting instantly retaking. That is it. That is an issue as well. Alright, fine. We'll spend just that money, but no other money. Alright, that looks good. I'm going to skip the rest of this, and we're going to end the turn. We're going to see about this ambush, but more importantly, we're going to see if we can confederate our little allies. Scarby, where are you going? No, he's returning home. Okay, I was thinking he's gonna attack Thoric, but it looks like he was a little bit afraid of the full stack out there. Also, it's only a matter of time before we start fighting Grimgor. Also, how the frickin' hell is the Court of Libara still alive? They're being sieged by like 4 armies. I think it's just gonna go to the end. Crooked Moon. You want war? Okay. What? What are you talking about? Okay. I feel like sometimes the AI just acts completely insanely. Obsidian Blade is obviously the pick here, but I'm gonna give a quick read. A dragon-blooded noble of Cathay has opened her mind to Chi. She is only too happy to throw herself from the Great Bastion to prove her new loyalty, and to leave you something of great value to pluck from her shattered corpse. Choose power. Your marionette believes she can steal a treasured relic from the Grand Observatory of Xingpo. No doubt it will prove useful once the gore is scrubbed from it. Why even scrub the gore? Why? Why? I don't see why you would do this. Ambusher discovered Thorgrim. Ooh. Okay, no, you're super far. For a second I thought that he might be coming down to us. And you got closer, eh? I guess you think that the horned ones are probably good enough to kill the garbage little pile of blue horrors, which may be true. That said, we could fly you around and just drop blue fires on you. I'll think about it, but I think that'll be something that we do next episode either way. Kairos, you can take Bagar, but then that does leave Antok open to be retaken, and there's still quite a lot of armies moving around here. So we'll probably have to jump back and forth. I really wouldn't like to lose Orion's camp either. Especially considering that, oh yeah, the Tzeentch corruption is going up, look at that. Characters, adjacent provinces, helping because the Kairos' forces in Antok. But anyway, the one thing that I wanted to see before calling this episode was you. Confederation's now 10. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. It increased. I guess he rebuilt an army. Okay, fine. I guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way. We're just going to be transferring his territories over to us, 1 per turn. And that's the way we'll do it. Anyway, with that, I am going to call this episode here. And next time we will maybe attack you, or maybe we will be building an army. We have a lot of cash to spend, and we may as well spend it. We're also drawing closer to Thorek, though I imagine he's got a pretty good chance of defending this. Your army is, after all, not really meant for conquest. You're meant for field battles. That said, there is the potential of sieging Agrul Migdal, though then we wouldn't be able to get the advantage of getting Thoric in that ambush stance. You know, I'll think about it. Plenty more fun battles to come, and I think the Kairos campaign is going pretty darn well, so stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave a like and comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.